Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Heart to Heart with Hads. Today is Monday when I'm speaking to y'all, but it's Friday when you're listening. So I'm actually on my shiz this week. Go me. But before we get into the topic of today's episode, which is a good one, I am just going to do a little recap of the weekend and the rest of my week last week. So the weather has kind of cooled off a little bit, and I'm so glad that it has. It's kind of nice in the mornings. It's been 60 degrees, and it's just felt like very nostalgic. I don't know, something about me walking in that type of weather brings back memories from other parts of my life, which is so weird. I don't know. September is a really hard month for me mentally, emotionally, just because there's a lot that happened whenever my dad passed away. It was September. And so the July, August, September, it's always a really hard time for me. And the months following, October, November, December. November is my dad's birthday. December is obviously Christmas. And obviously whenever you have those traditions set in place for so long and then they're no longer there, it's a tough time to navigate. So if you're anyone that struggles with that, just know that you're not alone. And yes, when I was younger, the holidays in this season of time, fall and winter, not winter, but fall used to be my favorite time of the year because it's like, oh, family time. And now that things are different, it's kind of something that I really avoid, and I just really don't enjoy it like I used to. So it's a hard time for me to navigate. And I just wanted to share that little vulnerability because I know other people may deal with it, not even just in this season, but in another season of life. Just know that you're not alone, and just remember to appreciate the times that you did have and the memories that were once there, and learn to appreciate that this is just how life is now, and you have to learn to adapt and deal with it even though it is tough. So that's just how I've been feeling lately, and will continue to over the next couple months. But just remember those things. Hopefully they can help you out. But this last weekend I went to visit my mom's side of the family, which they live in Oklahoma. So it's 3 hours from here, whereas my dad's side of the family live a lot closer. Majority of them do, anyways, live about just an hour away, so it's much easier to visit them and see them. Um, I lost my train of thought because I was really thinking in depth how often I drive an hour. An hour is not really that far, but anywho, I went to visit my mom's side of the family, 3 hours northwestern Oklahoma, I think so. And I never get to see my grandma and grandpa and cousins and all of that. So it was really good to do that. And I kind of just took a social media break, which was very much needed. I didn't post for 2 days, which was awesome and good for me, good for the mind and the soul to just be present. I hate having to constantly be on social media and feel like I need to show up for that, which is part of my job technically. So getting that break is sometimes that's really hard for me to do, but I'm really glad that I did it because I feel a lot more refreshed and rejuvenated and ready to take this week on. But I think I need to start doing that more. I know I say this probably once a month, but it really does help me kind of get back in line where I need to be, and helps that like comparison game, which I know we all struggle with. Just take that out of my mind. Not even just that, just being more present with the people around me is good too. So I got to spend time with them, and I went through at my grandma's house. She has like a keepsake of all my mom's stuff, and I found a whole bunch of like health books because my mom was, I think she went to school for like psychology and something else, but there was health books up there too. So I grabbed them all because I was like, this is so cool, but they're so old, like very, very old. And I was already going through one of them, and it was like a 6'2" male. For a small frame, their weight should be between like it was like 160 and 180. And if you have a large frame, it was like 180 to 190. And I was like, holy cow, like that is small for a dude. Sorry if I'm offending you, but I probably don't even have any dudes listen to this anyways. But just some of the health like concepts are way out of line from what I'm used to, anyways, just like within the bodybuilding community. But to me, that's small. Like, I think my dad was 6 foot and like 215. So, I don't know. Anywho, those books are pretty fun to look at. And there was also one that was, I can't think of the word to describe it, but I sent it to my coach Dan because I was like, this reminds me of you. It's some type of book that he likes to read that's like very hard to read and comprehend unless you like really dig deep into it, like meditation books, not meditation books. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Dan, if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, it's a book that's hard to read and understand. And then what else? We did a little bit of not really much shopping because there's not much to do there. Went to church, and yeah, it was just really a time to spend time with them. So that's all my weekend was. But this week, when you're listening, I'll be hanging out with my boyfriend because I'm gonna go stay with him for this week and help around the house because his family's going to be gone. So watering flowers and such things like that. So that'll be fun. But I had to get my stuff done for myself this week here. So yeah, I'm glad to be back on routine and getting with it. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention my grandma. She is like the best cook, and she made me a banana cake. She was like, "Hads, you have to take it home." And I was like, "Grandma, you don't understand. I cannot eat this stuff. Okay, you can, I can't. So this is staying here." And you bet your butt, I did eat a bunch because I never get to see them ever, and I never get to have be graced by my grandma's good cooking. So and it didn't really mess with my gut, so I'm very happy about that because that's a huge one for me. My gut's being more resilient as of lately. My free meals are not hurting as bad, and I think it's because I've been diversifying my gut by incorporating more foods, more variety of foods, I guess you could say, like fruits and vegetables and things. So that's amazing. Plus, I've just been able to manage my stress better, which directly helps your gut. So I've been feeling good overall, all around, and still working on regulating my cycle, which is annoying because I feel like I've always had some sort of issues with it. So I think it's definitely stress induced, which I'm working through it, y'all. I'm working through it, okay? I'm trying to not be a stressor as bad. Anyways, let's dive into the topic of today. So, we're going to be talking about time management a little bit and a little bit about priorities. So, let's just dive right in. This is the question I have for you. How many times have you said, I don't have time? Let me challenge that. You do have time, you just don't have your priorities in check. And most people think they're too busy for fitness, self care, reading books, learning more, whatever it may be. But in reality, okay, you just don't have your priorities line. And I always tell people this. I remember my mom when I was younger, my dad obsessed with golf. My boyfriend obsessed with golf. I'm always like, priorities. Like, you'd rather be at the freaking golf course than with me. And I know my mom was the same way with my dad, but she would always like priorities. And so now I say it. But it's true. Like, it's not about not having time. You have to make the time if it's something that you prioritize. So, the illusion of not enough time is super annoying. It's literally an excuse for not having your priorities in check. So people always say they don't have time, whether it's for working out, meal prepping, self improvement, whatever it may be. But that's completely wrong. It usually is masking a deeper issue, okay? Probably, most likely, a fear of commitment, lack of discipline, or this one. You're avoiding discomfort. Get the F out of your comfort zone. I had just about actually dropped the F bomb, but I was like, that's unattractive. I'm not going to say that. So I just want you to sit right here with me, wherever you're listening, in the car, if you're watching on YouTube. Sorry, I look hideous. Think about the things that you make time for right now. Think about your day and your life from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to bed. What does it look like? And every single second moment. I can tell you right now, there's times where I catch myself on my phone. I'm like, dude, what are you doing right now? And I know a lot of you probably think the same way. Like, whenever I'm sitting there bored, which isn't often, and sometimes I need to learn with dealing with being bored. That's something that everyone, all of us can appreciate is being bored. Whenever I'm sitting, I literally like throw my phone across, like literally chuck it over here. And I'm like, get it out of my sight. It's literally consuming me. And so that's just an example of, those little moments, you cannot get them back when you could be filling those 10 minutes here on the phone, 20 minutes here on the phone with something way more productive, becoming a better version of you. And I'm not even saying just fitness, like read a freaking book, do something more productive that's not that instant gratification. Like, because even reading a book, to me, that is not instant gratification. Until I finish that book, it's a process. Like, it's finishing a book is like building muscle to me. Like, you have to just keep showing up, reading the pages to be able to finish it. Okay, that's the same with your weight loss goals, whatever it may be, or any type of fitness goal that you have. You just have to keep showing up and digging in. And so that's that delayed gratification that I'm talking about. Books are a great example of that. Working out, trying to lose body fat, build muscle, whatever it may be, those are all great examples. Even school is a good example because whenever you're going up, showing up for class every day, taking the test, whatever it may be, you don't always see that diploma, or which, to be fair, I'm really annoyed that I even went to college. I'm just gonna say it right now. I think it was a waste of my time. Anyways, whatever it may be, school, that can be a big one. I know like high school is just a small little thing. But whenever you're in school, you think about, oh, I just cannot wait to be done. And it's the same thing. Like you still show up and do it because the end goal is there, and that's that delayed gratification. So go with the instant gratification on your phone. Okay, that was a big old tangent, but think about it. Do you make time? Think about the things you make time for. The TV, scrolling on your phone, hitting the snooze button. What does that say about your true priorities? Okay. Next thing, time versus priorities. We're going to dive a little bit deep into this. So, time management is often misunderstood because we think instead of cutting some things out or replacing some things, we have to add in more shiz. Okay. So instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I need to make time for this, take away some things that are not serving you at all. Cut it out. Everything that's unnecessary, cut it out and put in what truly matters to you. Okay. So this is something that I just kind of talked about, but an example, someone that says they can't make time for the gym, but the first thing they do when they get up is, well, let's just start over. The first thing they do whenever they are starting their day is snooze. Oh, okay, I snoozed for 15 minutes. That's 15 minutes you can't get back. That's 15 minutes that you could have been up, okay? I know sometimes we need that rest, but most of the time you don't. Okay, you could benefit from just going to bed a little bit earlier, and then you wouldn't have to do that shit. Next, okay. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Next thing, that 15 minutes right there, you can get that back. There's 15 minutes right there. All right, next 15 minutes. You spent 15 minutes scrolling on your phone before you get out of bed. Oh, there's 30 minutes right there. All right, let me get up and go brush my teeth and start getting ready for the day. Okay, cool. Lunch break. All right, 15 minutes. That's 45 minutes right there you've already spent where you could have been doing something else for the day. Get home, kick my feet up, watch some Netflix. Oh my gosh, an hour and a half's gone by. It's time for dinner. That's an hour and a half plus 45 minutes. 2 hours and 15 minutes of your day that you wasted on your freaking phone or doing some stupid, pointless stuff that you could have been accomplishing something else, okay? Your priorities suck. So rethink. I want you to rethink your schedule. Lay out what's exactly important to you. Literally get a pencil and paper right now, get on your notes, write down all the things that are important to you. Okay, for me, what's important to me? I'm just going to list some things that are important to me. What's important to me is my health, and obviously, I prioritize eating nutritious foods. Right now, my goal is to lose some body fat, so I'm going to commit to staying in my calorie deficit. I'm going to commit to doing my cardio, commit to going to the gym, and since I'm talking about health in this aspect, I'm committing to 15 minutes of sunshine, walking after my meals. Those are all contributing to my goal of living a healthy lifestyle, okay? Another goal I have, okay, read 30 books by the end of the year. So I read 30 minutes every single day. And sometimes I rotate between the books I read. That's besides the point of reading 5 books at a time. Don't do that. But that's a priority of mine is to have this goal of self improvement. And all of these things I'm doing, though, getting the sunlight, doing the cardio, going to the gym, letting the dogs out every so often, playing with them, prioritizing time with my boyfriend, prioritizing time with my mom. All of these things are making me a better human. And committing to these things show what I prioritize. I prioritize my health, my relationships, my dog, and just time with myself. I think that's a big one too, is allowing myself to just chill out. I prioritize that me time. So, just challenging you to reflect on your daily routine, and if there's things that are important to you but your actions don't align with them, where's that reflected in your daily routine? Where can you make some changes? Okay, so how are we going to shift our priorities? This is kind of what I just said. Audit your day. So literally track how you spend your time over a week. Write it all down. Like, if you don't use a planner, there's your first mistake right there. What are you doing with your life? Okay, you need it. You need a planner. You need to make sure everything's organized out for the week. I literally write every single thing down, and if I'm in the moment and I'm doing it, I still write it down because it's like, okay, I want to look back and see that I actually did this and it was a priority of mine, and even though I didn't write it down prior, I'm writing it down right now, so it's happening. And do this. Track all that. This makes sense. You know what I just said, rewriting something after it's done. Track what you're doing for the week and identify like areas that you could reallocate for something else. Whether it's, that an hour and a half you just spent watching a Netflix documentary. I'm not saying that's wrong because I do like to spend time doing that, but if you're slacking in other areas, then you need to replace that with something else. Okay, next step, set clear goals. So your goals need to be crystal clear. If your health is truly important, it must be treated like a non-negotiable for the day. It must be treated like brushing your teeth. So I have a lot of my athletes, they're like, I cannot remember to take my supplements every day. I'm like, what's something you do every single day? Brush your teeth. Okay, set your supplements right next to your toothbrush in the drawer of your toothbrush. Literally take them, get water, a cup of, like, where you put your hand underneath the faucet and just put the water in your mouth with the supplements and you're done. You've taken your supplements for the day, you didn't forget, and that's your priority right there. So coupling it with something that you're already doing that you know you're going to do. That's a big one, okay? Um, that had nothing to do with setting clear goals, but you have to make them specific to you, okay? And they have to make sense. This one's huge, okay? Number 3, say no to distractions. You have to cut out and reduce the things that don't serve your goals. TV, social media, or just endless tasks that are literally not essential. I don't even know. I feel like our biggest distractions in our lives in this time, this era, is definitely TV and social media. I could not think of anything else that comes to mind. Truthfully, I don't know. Video games maybe could be another one. I'm not into video games, so I have no clue. But you just have to say no to these things. Put them aside. Throw your phone across the room. Not in a bad way, just like a little toss. That's what I do. And it helps so much. But once you take the time, sit down, literally sit down, put your phone up if it's distracting you, and write out everything that you want to accomplish in your planner. I have my goals, my intentions, my focus. I have everything I'm doing for every single day in a kind of time frame. I don't be too specific because then I'm like hyper fixated. If I don't do it, then I get really discouraged. But you need to have a good time frame, a good idea of when you're going to get that shiz accomplished. Okay. The hard truth for people is that it's about discipline, not about time. And I know this is something that I talk about all the time, but if you are not prioritizing something, it's because it's not truly important to you. You've stopped caring about the importance of it, which is totally okay. Some people are like, I don't find this important to me anymore, and that's fine that it's not. But the things that are important to you, you will and should prioritize. So it's not the time that's holding you back, okay? It's your lack of discipline to committing to the things that you know you need to do. All right, so with that being said, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Every person has the same 24 hours in a day. And I know mine's going to look completely different than yours. And what I prioritize may be completely different than you. But you have to make conscious decisions that align with your goals. And then change your perspective. Okay, I just said that. What am I trying to say? Okay, so just think about what could you achieve if you stopped making excuses and you prioritize the things that actually mattered. And you start small. Like it doesn't have to be all right. Now I'm going to challenge myself to read 30 books. I'm going to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to spend time with my family for an hour every single day. Like, okay, slow down. It doesn't have to be that hardcore. It can be very small. I'm going to start 5 minutes today. 5 minutes a day, I'm going to put my phone up. I'm going to open my meditation app. And this is how I'm going to prioritize my self care for the day. Great, awesome, fabulous. Okay, now I have 15 extra minutes a day here. What can I do? Ooh, I'm going to go on a walk because I know it's going to benefit my health. Awesome. Oh my gosh, I have a 30 minutes here that I realize that I'm doing something that's not bringing me closer to my goals. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get some cardio in. Ooh, I'm going to do the sauna. Whatever it is, just lay it out. Make it a part of your routine. And celebrate these small wins that you have. They're super important to help keep you going. And by celebrating them, I don't mean like go make yourself have a cupcake, but it helps when you have that person, that accountability aspect. So my sister and I, we do this daily devotional and we send it to each other so we're holding ourselves accountable. And I help her celebrate, like, yeah, that's awesome. We're doing this. And this is where a good coach comes into play whenever you do have these goals, is they help you celebrate these small wins. They help you see and carve the, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but they help you establish the goals for one, establish the priorities that you need to make, and for two, they just help keep you going. And they should tell you that you're proud of you whenever you do have these small wins that are occurring. They help keep you going, help you on the right trajectory. So it's just about showing up small and making these small little changes over time. Even if it's just for like a short period of time every day, they start to add up. So, moral of the story, you don't have a time problem, you have a priorities problem. And the only way to get where you want to be is to prioritize the things that you need to do. So, I'm just going to encourage you to take a look at your schedules, and I'm going to challenge you to make room for one priority you've been avoiding. So, what can you change today in this moment to get you closer to your goals? What can you snip away or cut out to incorporate more of what you know that you want to do and something that's going to get you to where you want to be and the goals that you have set out for yourself because they're important. So, take ownership of where you are and remember where you want to be. So, you have a lot more control than you think. And I'm just going to wrap it up and say that stop making excuses and start making progress because no one has time for excuses, okay? Prioritize what's important and you will succeed. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode. Hope y'all enjoyed it. As always, leave any feedback. I'm appreciative of any of it, and my thoughts were all over the place today, so I appreciate you hanging in there with me because sometimes I like to ramble and don't make sense, but I'm getting better. So, thank you all, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.